All right, let's talk about the elephant in, well, pretty much every room right now, AI,
Definitely, it's everywhere.
and specifically how it's just completely changing the way we work. So today, we're really zeroing in on one tool that's getting a huge amount of attention.
Microsoft Copilot.
Exactly, Microsoft Copilot.
Oh.
I've seen it described as arguably the most powerful productivity tool on the planet. Big claim.
It is a big claim. Yeah.
So our mission, really, with this deep dive is to cut through all that buzz. We want to distill what Copilot actually is, how it works, what benefits it really offers, and maybe most importantly, what it takes for an organization, for you listening, to genuinely be ready for this new AI-powered way of working. We want to give you a shortcut to understanding this thing.
And you know what's really fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just like another tech update. It's not just version 7.1.
Right.
We've seen massive shifts before, haven't we? Like the big move to remote and hybrid work. Tools like Microsoft Teams were huge for that.
Absolutely. Changed everything.
But AI, this feels more fundamental. It's not just about a new bit of software. It's a profound change in how human brains, human ingenuity, can combine with AI that's secure and, importantly, easy to use.
So it's about redefining work itself, almost.
Kind of, yeah. Helping us redefine what human work really is by, automating some of the repetitive stuff, the grunt work, and freeing up our brain power for the things only humans can do well. Creativity, strategy, empathy, those uniquely human bits of productivity.
That's a really powerful way to look at it. So, okay, for listeners maybe thinking, hang on, is this just another chatbot or like a fancy search engine? What is Copilot exactly? What makes it different from, say, just using ChatGPT? How would you break it down simply?
Yeah, good question. Because that distinction is really key. Copilot is way more than just a standalone chatbot. Think of it more like an intelligent coworker.
Okay.
One that's seamlessly built right into the Microsoft 365 apps you're already using constantly. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook.
So it's in the apps.
Exactly, right there. Its main job isn't to replace you or take over creating things entirely. It's there to boost your output, give you smart insights. And what's really unique is how you talk to it. You use natural language, just speak or type normally, often through Microsoft 365 chat, right within Teams.
Okay.
You give it complex commands. But here's the real game changer. It doesn't just search the internet. It taps into your organization's own data.
Ah, right.
Your calendars, your emails, chats, documents, meetings, contacts, the whole landscape.
Wow.
So it can do things that were, frankly, unimaginable before. Like imagine asking it, generate a product strategy update, and boom, it instantly pulls relevant bits from past emails, meeting notes, documents you've already got.
That's the power right there.
That is the power. Context.
Wow. Okay. So it's contextualized to your company's specific knowledge. That sounds incredibly powerful. Almost, I don't know, too good to be true sometimes.
It can feel that way.
Can you walk us through maybe a couple of compelling real-world examples where Copilot tackles those everyday things that just soak up time in the workplace?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's connect it to the bigger picture. Copilot really shines where we tend to lose the most time. Okay, take creating a pitch deck in PowerPoint, a data-driven one.
Always takes ages.
Right. Researching, finding the right figures, pulling it all together, that could easily eat up hours, maybe days.
Totally.
With Copilot, you can ask it to draft the presentation. It can pull relevant research insights directly from other documents you've already made. It highlights key topics, finds the figures, turning hours of painstaking work into, well, potentially minutes.
Okay, that's significant. What about something else, like email?
Oh, email, the classic time sink. Imagine coming back from a week off, right?
Oh, well.
LA?
Don't remind me. The whole
Right, exactly. A mountain of emails in Outlook. Copilot can help there, too. You ask it to summarize the key threads, maybe draft some initial responses, prioritize the really important stuff.
So it helps you triage.
Perfectly put. It helps you triage that mess, clearing a week's worth of clutter in, honestly, a fraction of the time it would normally take. And the real aha moment for you listening isn't just saving, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
It adds up.
It adds up massively. It's
Yeah.
realizing these are fundamental shifts. They could completely change your daily workflow, letting you focus on the higher value problems, the things that really need your brain. My own inbox after a holiday. Yeah, that prospect alone is a game changer for me.
I completely get that. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty then. Can you walk us through some more specific, practical ways Copilot shows up in a typical workday across those different Microsoft 365 apps.
Let's dive in, yeah. Think about, say, a finance department using Excel.
Yeah.
Oh, spreadsheets. Lots of spreadsheets. Instead of someone manually digging through them for hours, Copilot can automate data analysis. It can quickly spot trends, do complex calculations, generate pretty comprehensive reports just by asking it.
Wow.
Or think about admin staff or customer service teams often drowning in Outlook emails, right?
Definitely.
Copilot can help prioritize the important messages, suggest scheduling for responses, even draft initial replies, helps ensure nothing slips through the cracks.
It's like a first pass filter.
Exactly. Now, in Word, admin, marketing teams. You know that feeling, the blank page.
Oh, yeah. Writer's block.
Copilot can help beat that, suggest content improvements, formatting ideas, even generate whole paragraphs from just a few bullet points you give it, speeds up creating documents like crazy. And for big teams, scheduling meetings.
Nightmare, right?
The worst. Doodle poll hell.
Totally. Copilot and Teams can look at everyone's calendars, check availability, and then automatically suggest meeting times. It can even schedule it for you. Makes it almost hard not to find a slot.
That alone sounds amazing.
It is. And PowerPoint, again, creating professional presentations. You give it simple prompts, it generates creative slides using content pulled right from your other documents.
So it finds the relevant stuff itself. Yes. And it can even take complex data, maybe from that Excel analysis we talked about, and automatically create professional charts, graphs, visualizations for you.
That's a huge range just within the main Office apps.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Teams chat earlier. Does it go beyond those core Office tasks?
Oh, much further. Yeah. This raises an important question, like how far does it reach?
Right.
Okay, imagine you get sent a massive report, like a 20-page PDF. Need the gist quickly.
Happens all the time.
Copilot can summarize that entire PDF into, say, 5 concise bullet points right there in your Edge browser.
In the browser. Seriously. Need a professional email drafted quickly. Or a catchy caption for social media. It acts like your own on-demand writing assistant. You can even tell it to generate AI images tailored specifically for your emails or presentations, so you can ditch hunting for those generic stock photos.
That's pretty cool. Custom images. Yeah. And beyond just content creation, it can genuinely help you learn new skills. You can ask it specific, tailored questions, and it brings back consolidated info from across the web, structured for you.
So like a personalized tutor.
In a way, yeah. And it can tackle complex questions too, things that might need pulling data from multiple places or some analysis that would normally take you ages to research.
Right.
Just think about the hours. The hours you listening might spend on tasks like these manually. Imagine getting that time back. And the quality boost, having an assistant that, doesn't get tired or bored.
The idea of summarizing that 20-page PDF in Edge,
Yeah.
that's still kind of blowing my mind. Are there limits, though? Or like types of things it struggles with? Any common misunderstandings people have?
That's a really crucial point. Because while it's incredibly powerful, it's definitely not magic.
Oh, wait.
Copilot is only as good as the data it has access to.
Right.
Garbage in, garbage out still applies. If your source documents are outdated, or they contradict each other, or they're full of internal jargon it doesn't understand, Copilot's output will reflect that.
Right. It can only work with what it's given.
Precisely. And a common misconception is that it'll always be 100% accurate or that it perfectly understands your intent every time. It doesn't. It's an assistant, a Copilot.
Yeah.
You still absolutely need to review its work, refine it, apply your own human judgment. It's not a replacement for thinking.
So where does it struggle most?
It struggles with highly subjective things, deeply creative tasks that need real human empathy or truly original, out-of-the-box thinking. Its real strength is synthesizing existing information, generating variations based on patterns it sees, not necessarily inventing entirely new concepts from scratch.
That's a really important nuance. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving beyond just me using it on my laptop, what does it actually take for a whole organization to adopt AI like this effectively? It sounds like it's way more than just buying the software licenses.
You are spot on. The sources we looked at make this crystal clear. A successful shift to an AI-enabled workforce. It's not just flipping a switch. It's not a simple purchase order.
Right.
It really needs clear leadership from the top. It needs targeted investment time and money. And it needs a very well thought out plan.
And culture.
And crucially, yeah, it demands pretty significant cultural shifts inside the company. We're talking about actively fostering a culture that values high productivity, encourages collaboration, implements really robust, secure endpoint management. That means making sure all your devices, laptops, phones, everything are properly secured and managed.
Especially with remote work.
Especially now, and perhaps the biggest thing, a genuine willingness across the board to embrace change, to try new ways of working. It's really a holistic transformation, not just a tech rollout.
That makes total sense. So with all that needed, how does Microsoft suggest company checks if it's ready for Copilot? What are the key things they should look at?
Well, digging into that readiness aspect, Microsoft has kind of boiled it down to 4 key questions organizations really need to ask themselves.
Okay, what are they?
First, do you have a comprehensive zero-trust security architecture in place?
Zero trust. Explain that a bit.
Sure. It's a security philosophy, basically. The core idea is never trust, always verify. Every single user, every device trying to access your network or data needs to be verified every time, no matter if they're inside or outside the office.
Gotcha. Assume nothing is safe.
Pretty much. Second question, are your endpoints, your laptops, phones, and your applications easy to manage centrally? Third, is your data standardized? Is it easily accessible? Or is it all over the place?
Big one.
Huge one. And fourth, is your company culture ready for AI? Does it understand the potential? Is it prepared to use it responsibly? If you can confidently say yes to all 4, you're in a really strong position.
And I bet that third one, data, is often a much bigger hurdle than people think, right? Because data just lives everywhere. Silos, weird formats.
Exactly that. Copilot is only as good as the data it can get its hands on. If your data is messy, inconsistent, locked away in 50 different systems, it's like trying to build that skyscraper on quicksand, like you said.
Yeah.
The quality, the organization of your company data, it's absolutely fundamental for Copilot to work well.
Yeah.
Incorrect data, inappropriate data. It will directly mess up its performance.
So what needs doing there?
It means effective storage, proper management, good categorization of data, and critically, preventing people or AI from accessing sensitive information they shouldn't.
Right, permissions.
Key steps are things like revoking old permissions people don't need anymore, actively identifying and protecting your really sensitive data, and constantly monitoring for anything weird, any potential risks.
Okay. And you mentioned zero trust again.
Yeah.
How does that specifically help an AI tool like Copilot?
Well, think about it. Data is your crown jewels, but it's also a massive risk, right? Zero Trust builds that essential security foundation. It helps guarantee data security, data integrity, which is just non-negotiable for AI, especially an AI that has permission to roam across so much company information.
Right.
Microsoft tools like Entra ID, Defender, they support this. They make sure only properly authenticated and authorized requests get processed. Every single access attempt gets checked.
Great.
And finally, that centralized endpoint management piece. It's critical, especially with hybrid work. You've got people on company laptops, personal phones, maybe.
Yeah, all sorts.
Central management makes sure all those devices stay secure, stay up to date, run efficiently. It safeguards sensitive info and protects against cyber threats.
So to help you listening get a quick sense of where your own organization might be, the sources actually provide a little 9-question quiz you can kind of run through mentally.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it covers things like how open is your organization to change? How confident are you in your current tech? How important do people think AI is? Is your workforce generally open to it? It also asks about how modern is your IT infrastructure? How good are your data protection measures currently? How much do you already use Microsoft 365? Do you have what they call an evergreen IT strategy?
Evergreen.
Meaning your systems are designed to constantly evolve, constantly update, rather than just getting ripped out and replaced every 5 years.
Got it. Continuous improvement.
Exactly. And the last one, how much do you invest in change management? Helping people adapt.
Crucial.
So after thinking through those, you'd fall into one of 3 rough categories.
Yeah.
Fully ready, almost ready, or need support. But the main point is, even if you're not fully ready right now, that's okay. There's a clear path forward. Understanding where you're starting from is like half the battle.
Absolutely. And once you've decided, okay, we're going for this or we want to get ready for this, the next logical question is, well, how do you actually make sure Copilot succeeds once you roll it out?
Right. Implementation.
Yeah. The sources offer 6 really practical tips for a successful launch and getting people to actually use it.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, prepare your data. We keep coming back to this, don't we?
Yeah, maybe.
Nope. Make sure your databases, your document stores, whatever, are up to date and in a format Copilot can actually process. Data quality is king.
Got it. Tip 1, data.
Second, train your employees. Equip them with the skills and knowledge they need to use this powerful tool effectively. You can't just dump it on them and expect magic.
Okay, training. Makes sense.
Third, create a clear authorization structure. Control who and what can access which data. Copilot touches a lot of data sources. You absolutely need to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive stuff.
Right.
Security first.
Permissions again. What's next?
Fourth, create a clear strategy. Set actual goals. Define how you're going to measure if Copilot is successful for your specific organization. What does success even look like? More sales, faster reports, happier staff.
So define the win.
Exactly. Fifth, make sure your employees use Copilot. Its effectiveness really depends on the data it interacts with. So consistent usage keeps that data fresh and actually makes Copilot better over time. Encourage adoption.
Use it or lose its edge, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. Its utility improves with use. And finally, sixth, create a clear communication strategy. Tell people it's coming. Explain the benefits. Show how it fits the company's vision. Get that buy-in and awareness early.
So data, training, security, strategy, usage, communication.
That's the list. Successful implementation really hinges on that kind of strategic thinking and, importantly, ongoing effort and execution. It's not fire and forget.
That's a really solid roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay, to make all this less abstract, let's talk about a real-world example they highlighted. Scottish Water.
Ah, yes. Good case study.
Yeah. So this is the company providing water and wastewater services to like 2.6 million households across Scotland. Huge responsibility.
Massive.
Their challenge, pretty common one actually, lots of mundane, repetitive tasks were pulling their, 4,500 employees away from the really important stuff.
Which for them is.
Making sure Scotland has clean, safe water. That's their core mission.
So their goal was clear. They wanted to, and I quote, lift the level of purposeful work by cutting down on those tedious bits. And what's fascinating here is seeing the tangible difference Copilot actually made for them. John Kearney, he's their head of digital strategy and architecture.
Okay.
He reported, in our best week, we saved around 200 hours across all Copilot users.
200 hours. In 1 week.
Yep. And he added, that's time that we can now spend on more meaningful tasks directly related to supplying Scottish households with water. That really nails that purposeful work idea we talked about earlier.
That's a concrete result.
Yeah.
How did they save that time? Like, what specifically?
Well, think about Teams meetings again. Big time saver there. Copilot apparently completely eliminated the need for manual note-taking during meetings.
Oh, nice.
And manual summaries afterwards, post-meeting reports, all that admin overhead. It meant people could just be fully present, actually engage in the conversation.
And it could answer questions later.
Yeah. Copilot could answer any questions about what was discussed in seconds, just by looking at the meeting transcript it generated. Andrea Machane, a project delivery coordinator there, she said, Copilot helps people to focus more on what's being discussed, which in turn makes the meetings much more effective.
That makes sense. Less distraction.
Exactly. And for creating documents, it helped overcome that blank page syndrome we mentioned, generating structures, drafting text from simple prompts. For their analysts, apparently it could explain complex bits of code or data sets, saving them loads of time they'd otherwise spend hunting for info or bugging colleagues.
Right. Little interruptions add up.
Hugely. Andrea Machane summed it up really nicely. A very important return on our investment in Copilot is not necessarily the time itself, but the much higher quality of work we create for our people by implementing such technologies.
Quality, not just quantity.
Right. And John Kearney, the CTO, he also stressed that the name Copilot is spot on, because it really acts like, in his words, an assistant that takes over those tasks that keep you from doing work that holds more purpose. And for Scottish Water, that purpose is literally delivering water.
That is a perfect encapsulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So thinking about all this,
Yeah.
what does it really mean for you listening? Ultimately, Copilot and AI like it, it's not just about automating away tasks. It seems to be about empowering people. Empowering them to work better, maybe with more focus, more purpose. It looks like it can foster new levels of creativity, productivity, collaboration, just by getting rid of some of the mundane stuff.
Letting people focus on what matters.
Yeah. Shifting human effort to where it genuinely adds the most value.
Which this raises maybe one final important question to think about, doesn't it?
Go on.
If AI like Copilot can automate away more and more of the tedious, the repetitive parts of our jobs, What new challenges, what higher level, more uniquely human, more creative things will you and your organization suddenly have the bandwidth to tackle?
Good question.
How might this shift redefine not just how productive we are, but the actual nature of job satisfaction? What does human contribution look like when we move from just doing the work we have to do towards maybe doing more of the work we want to do?